Hey guys, how's it going? It's Fred back today with the Super Duty Dilemma. And I went in and sat down last night and tried to figure out why this rear end housing wouldn't work even though the locker was burned up in it, because it still should just act as like an open housing. And for me, I really couldn't grasp a hold of why this wasn't working because of that. So after thinking about it a while, I came out last night, messed around with some stuff, went back to bed, got up this morning, thought about a few things, come out and check some stuff. Well, here's what I found. This is what I'm going to show you. Okay, so this explains our problem. If you look on the right hand side, that is the axle I put in from the Super Duty that I had out back for parts. And if you can tell, clearly that axle shaft is not long enough to enter the side gear, hence the reason why it's still spun. Now, you kind of ask, why is that possible if you took it out of the same truck? Well, I did take it out of the same truck. It's an f350 dual rear wheel, 99 to 07, but the big but here is most people don't realize that there's two different types of f350s. As you can see, axle's all the way in here. Axle's all the way in there. So what I'm going to show you is the difference between the two F350s in order to get the correct parts. So on the left, what we have is this is the original driver's side long axle out of the truck we're working on. And this is the replacement axle, which we took out of the other F350. Now, you obviously can tell there's two different lengths, which anybody knows rear ends knows is a long axle and a short axle. On the F350s, the driver's side is the long axle. Well, I took this axle out of an F350 dual-wheel truck. The difference is believe it or not, this one came out of what's called a cabin chassis, which are more for commercial duty. This one came out of the black truck, which is just a regular F350 standard bed on it. Your cabin chassis are actually 10 inches longer. So oddly enough, the rear end in the cabin chassis is narrower than the regular F350. However, oddly enough, your regular F250, F350 Excursion single wheel takes the same axles as your cabin chassis. So what I did is this. I went back out to the cabin chassis and I grabbed the long driver's side axle out of it, which is over here. So that being said, yeah, it looks shorter there, but here, let me fix that for you. There. I grabbed that. Now you can see they're both pretty close. So this axle is still longer, which it has to be, but this axle is longer, and I'm going to put this axle in to see if this will help eliminate the issue of what we've been seeing, and that is that the differential spins when it's in gear and nothing moves. So we're going to put this cabin chassis driver's side axle in the passenger side of the F350, and we're going to put the regular axle back in the driver's side of the F350 and see if this works and solves our problem. If it does, I'll probably go find another F350, grab the correct axle for it. Takes about maybe a good 5 minutes to change, as long as you make sure your gear oil and stuff's filled, and see if this fixes our problem. Wish me luck. Okay, so we got this differential put back together. I moved the clutches and stuff around. We're going to put it back together. Worst case scenario, I think we can run this as an open. Maybe it'll still have a little bit of bind, maybe it won't. Not really worried about it. What I'm going to show you right now is we put the cabin chassis driver's side axle in the passenger side. It's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches longer than the other axle we had in that you saw earlier. And we put the stock driver's side axle back in the 350. So you look under here now is adverse to when you did earlier. And now things look quite a bit better. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to try and see if this works. And okay, so we got the differential all back together. I still got to find the other bolt that I misplaced here somewhere. I'm sure it's here in the driveway somewhere. But we got the driver's side F350 axle, conventional cab. That's all back, put in it. And now we're going to go over and check the cabin chassis. And this is the long axle out of the cabin chassis. We're going to see if we can get this one to fit in there. So you can see, we're going to try to get it lined up as close as we can. This might be a little bit of a trick to do with one hand, but I'll wiggle it around and see. Whoop! Bam! Just like that, it went in. Looks like I'm gonna have to rock the truck a little bit, but it's in and it looks pretty flat. So I'm gonna move the truck a little bit, get the bolt holes lined up, and see if this bad boy works. Wish me luck. Now remember, we're just quick tightening these up to see if this is gonna work. We'll go ahead and torque them afterwards and stuff. These have O-rings on them, so you don't have to silicone them. So here we go. We're gonna go give it a shot. We're gonna get this thing fired up and we're gonna see if it moves without using four-wheel drive. Okay, so this is gonna be the first shot at trying this. Just started the truck up, see, you know, didn't want you to have to go through a cold start. Amazingly enough, this thing fired right up and really is kind of surprising me how well it runs for sitting so long. I got the usual suspects along. We got Stellies in the back. Gussie making an appearance. And here we go. Let's check this thing out and see if it works. Okay, so you can see it's not in four-wheel drive. ABS light's still off. No 4x4 there. And put this thing in gear. Holy smokes. It moves. Moves forward and backwards, okay? Now I'm just checking this out to see if it moves forward and backwards. I did not fill it with gear oil yet because I got my friend on the way with gear oil, and I really wanted to make sure this was gonna work. So it did work. The long axle in the cabin chassis worked for the short side of the conventional F350 dually truck. So that's something good to know. And we'll update you. We're gonna take this thing for a road test and see how it goes. Take the pooches for a ride. We're gonna get her full of gear oil. Here we go, cruising right along, two-wheel drive. Not too bad at all. Got Cowboy with me. Got the dogs. Rusty's loving life. Holding up traffic a little bit. We ain't getting after it too hard, but all in all, we're gonna call this a success. Use the cabin chassis, driver's side axle in the left rear. Life seems to be going good. Cruising right along highway speed. Doesn't handle too bad. Take your hand right off the steering wheel. Right in front of a dump truck, that's a good idea. But go straight just the same, so we'll take it as a W. What do you say, Cowboy?
Oh yeah, it's a nice one.
For sale, not on sale. Okay, so one of the things we were talking about is cabin chassis and conventional cab F350s. I'm going to show you what the difference is. So if you're looking at a truck and you can't tell one way or another, like it has a flatbed on it, you can tell if it's a cabin chassis or if it's a regular truck. Now, your regular trucks are really simple. If it has a bed on it, it's a conventional truck. If it has a dually bed, it's conventional. It's not a cabin chassis. Cabin chassis are different the way the fuel is laid out in them. So here we go. So as you can see, this is an F350 Super Duty. It's an 07. As it said, those parts and stuff would fit, and they kind of do. But this is what's called a cabin chassis. A cabin chassis is about 10 inches longer right here. So a normal bed will only come to this far. You'll see beds on these trucks occasionally, but there's usually a filler right in here so they can use the regular bed. Now the way you tell a cabin chassis, really simple. The tank's in the back. The tank being in the back allows to put a filler neck out here on any sort of body you might put on it. So if the filler neck is in the back, 99% of the time it's going to be a cabin chassis. Your conventional trucks, your fuel tank goes right here. So you'll have a fuel door on the side of the bed, and that's how you tell if you have a truck with a flatbed on it or no bed on it at all. You're in a junkyard, it's dual rear wheeled. If there's a tank in the back, it's a cabin chassis. If it has a tank up here, it's a conventional cab F350. So anyway, the cows are out. Moo Cow, what you thinking, buddy? Moo Cow knows the difference. Now you do. Like I said, you'll see beds on these trucks occasionally, but there'll be a 10-inch spacer right here. Allow them to make up the difference. Moo Cow's gonna come over and make an appearance and do a little cameo here for the video. But that's the difference. Cabin chassis, fuel tank in the back, conventional cab, tank up there. And obviously, the rear end's narrower. So if you didn't know, now you know. Well, I hope that ends my Super Duty dilemma for now. Often people ask me why I do this stuff in my driveway because I have a commercial shop, and the answer is simple. I do it so that people can see you can do this in your driveway or in your regular garage you have at home. Often when people see commercial garages, they become intimidated doing these repairs when all of it's just basic general knowledge that anybody can obtain anywhere on the internet now. I myself actually enjoy the learning what does and doesn't fix things, for future knowledge if I get in a bind. The fact that you can use the long axle out of a cabin chassis in a conventional passenger side of a regular F350 is pretty good knowledge to have for anybody who's stuck or broke down on the road. This is something that could happen. And, even though it took me on and off for the last few days and videos to figure it out, it's good knowledge to have because now I know and I can put it out there for other people that don't know. But I hope you guys liked the video. Give me a like, subscribe, and share. Tongue twister for me always. Hope you guys have a great day and enjoy the rest of my videos.